So because we had some water on the right-hand side of the racetrack from the previous car, we are actually cleaning that lane up a little bit. Goldstone, as I mentioned earlier, has run a best of 640 at 226 miles an hour. He is your current leader overall. He is leading the Unlimited Iron class and the only guy who has run a 6-second pass at every stop this week. He would love a one and done right here. So both of the turbo cars need some boost. They're going to spool up. Ryan in. Evan is in. Off we go. A little bit of tire spin, a little bit of shake, but Goldstone hanging on to a top end at 678 at 213. Right side, Amber Matz out of Florida. She's looking for something good to keep her in the lead of the her own class. She needs to run something in the 887, 888 group. Trevor Brandon wheeling and dealing, looking for something in the 8s in the GTR. How about 807 at 179 right out of the gate? That will keep him in the lead. I don't think this is Brett Sands. No, this is Cameron Alley. Right inside 169. So Cameron Alley currently leading 6th Street Race in the supercharged Mustang. Hard has problems in the stick car. 842 at 161 for Cameron Alley. I think he's been in the 930 range. Robert Sidley's Corvette, the C7 Corvette on the opposite side. Anthony Wiseman trying to get some traction. Looking for that 9-second range. He goes 961 at 144. Look at the wheel stand right side as he bounces back to earth and still keeps his foot on it. Troy Martin still looking for a 9-second time slip. And he'll go 10-17 at 137, but a giant wheel stand. CLS Swab 69 Chevelle comes up next, right side. Left side is Frank Perkins, the 1969 Valiant. Schwartz has been in the 8-second range most of the week. Frank Perkins has been in the high 9s. He goes 10:02, 134, 862 for Schwartz's entry. Dan Dinan comes up next, his low 9-second Malibu. And Daniel Watts, the stick shifting guy in the Cobra. He's looking for another low 9-second blast in the Cobra. He's not going to get it this time. That 1-3 shift didn't work out so well. Dan Dinan left side. 916 at 153. That's a good run for him. He's in the bottom 9s yet again. Here comes our next pair of cars. Tom Llewellyn, 1999 model stick shift Mustang. Tom's over on the right side of the racetrack. Colin Nowak on the opposite side. Colin wheeling the 1995 model Mustang. Colin wheeling and dealing left-hand side. And goes 905 at 152 for Colin Nowak. Llewellyn goes 10:01, 135. Oh, so close. Wayne Baker, left-hand side, your number 2 guy in the gasser class. The 63 Chevy Nova, he was leading until day 3 and then had to turn in a 950 time slip, so that slowed him down. He lines up here with Steve Resnicki in the 69 Charger. And he's going to watch Wayne Baker pull away from him. And Baker, once again, at the 8th mile, just kind of moving around a little bit. 925, that's a good run there. 144 for Baker. And Cameron Alley in the small block Chevy Pro-Charged Mustang. All right, attention to the bits, attention to the bits. I will take A and B group radial, A and B group radial to the lanes, A and B group radial, A and B group radial to the lanes. Once again, I've called A and B group radial, A and B group radial. A and B group radial. I need you. Rovek on the pass. 999, that slows from his 995, so unfortunately that will not help him. Manuel, who has run a pair of 6-second runs in his 1989 twin turbo big block Camaro. He is over on the right-hand side. Left-hand side is Doug Cook, the Gen 6 LT twin turbo 1972 Nova. Doug, one of the three owners of Motion Raceworks. From the time that Doug Cook has spent around the drag and drive community, he incorporated some new and interesting parts ideas. So he lines up left side. Michael is in right side. Can we see our first 6-second pass on the radio? And Doug Cook pushed through, so we will see him back. Michael over on the right side, top end, 694 at 211, his best run of the week. Now, Doug Cook's going to try again, see if the bump button works a little better this time. There he is. Oh, no, it rolled one more time. He's going to make the pass anyway. To the top end. 739 at 204 being deep stage. Not a bad run for Doug Cook, but that's about 0.3 of a second slower than what he's run earlier in the week. Edwards on a good run. This could be a 7. Oh, he's close. 802 at 176 miles an hour. No doubt the transmission fluid temperature probably did not help.
Community, you can't beat it.
And that goes right into Team Mickey Thompson, which I will talk about in just a minute. David Deal in the turbocharged LS Mustang. Matt Arwood on the opposite side. He's running in the Rowdy Radio class. He left before the tree was activated. Nick Deal looks like he has a good tune-up in the Mustang. 719 at 196 for Nick. Both of them off the starting line good. 1-2-0 for the right side. 510 and a 506. Wow, 506 at 144 for Nathan McMaster, left side. 510 on the right side for Stark. This is his high school car. He's owned it since he was 17 years old, and the car also delivered his first ever 6-second run on day number 2. It went 698. But as I mentioned, not one but 2 pistons have been replaced. Right side is CJ Durbin, the guy who changed an engine last year on 6 Summer in a parking lot. Oh, and Alan Whitaker knocks the tires loose. CJ Durbin goes 549 at 130 to the 8th mile, and 829 at 167. I don't think Alan is going to turn that in. I think the heavy metal leader is probably going to come back and try again, as unfortunately the Monte Carlo, it's kind of giving him some trouble, kind of not. Okay. Purple Ford Ranger, I'll find it. So that'll bring up Dean Anderson and Jarrett Fuller. The pickup truck they call Bad Leroy Brown out of Texas. This was wheeled by Randy Fuller, the father, over Sig Week and 6 Summer. He is now given the keys to his boys, and they are running it on motor. They said they might spray it tomorrow. Dean Anderson with his better half, Jennifer White, over on the opposite side. He's looking for that perfect 8.50 time slip in the turbocharged Malibu. Look at the double wheelie there for Dean Anderson. He found the 60-foot. He might be a little quick here. He is 845 at 156. Class. Left-hand side is Jeremy Ortiz. Ortiz in the LS swapped purple Nissan. He became the 8th driver in drag and drive history to lay down a perfect 8.500. Yesterday, he was actually thinking about quitting after day number 2 as his transmission was almost cooked. He swapped the tranny fluid and apparently found the number he wanted. Look at the wheel stand in the Dodge. A 570 at 123 for Dennis. Jeremy, 868. He's way slow. He needs to come back and try again. In the orange Shelby, he's running Pro Dial Your Own on the right-hand side. Mike Chenoweth in the 1970 Roadrunner. They actually called it a Roadrunner, and very cool to know that it actually got the Warner Brothers cartoon horn sound, as opposed to the air horn, very loud. It makes people jump and think a train is coming from the Stick the Magazine barbecue truck. Slightly more sedate than that. Chenoweth trying to get that thing spooled up, and he sounded like he fell out of the boost curve. As it looks like Reimar is having some smoke out of the clutch area. Yeah, he's slow. 1084 at 123. 888, 154 for Chenoweth. That's not a bad run, but
bringing the products to market, and that was just kind of a one quick quip on how we developed the 2688.
Very cool. So Olsen, right side in Super Street. Left side, Sands, looking for that 8th mile time. Looks good so far for him, left side. Let me call out the 8th mile number. 560 at 126. That would be his slowest run of the week. 982 at 126. And the Ranger's on his side and catches the Camaro. All right, everybody clear the starting line. Everybody clear the starting line. We need emergency personnel. Everybody, please clear the starting line. Do not go down the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. Stay where you are. Unless you are with the Great Lakes Dragway people or you are in an EMT, you should not be going down the racetrack. So everybody stay where you are as we send our crew down. Left-hand side left before the tree was activated. Dino Rebelletti in the 8-second capable Malibu. He is going to make a single shot. Jeremy Kroger, the guy who lost his rear window yesterday, 912 at 148 for Dino Rebelletti. Angry Bees, right side, Brian Acton, a guy who is currently in the number 3 spot in his class in 6 tree race. Normally we're used to seeing him in the top spot, but he is not there. He wants an 8.50 time slip out of the Nova. We'll see how he does here. He's on a good run. 8:51 with a 1. After all the struggles that Acton and Jay have been through. Look at Jay clapping his hands down there. He says, thank goodness we finally got a good one. 8:51 with a 1, and that could be a one and done. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. The starting line, Webb on a good shot left side. 793 at 170. Not his best run, but not a bad run. Chris Mary, Dane Ross yet. Chris Mary, who became the number 9 guy in drag and drive history to run a perfect 8.500 in the Deal Brothers Mustang. We just talked to Nick about this. Hopefully he still has the 850 tune-up loaded in it. Dane Ross in the late model Shelby on the opposite side. The Shelby having some traction problems. Mary is close. 8:56 at 160. Based on the 8th mile number, I thought he might get there. Drake, Double D in the 1963 Nova. He's been in the 570 to 590 range. He's going to line up here with the large by huge 66 Le Mans. Eric Wigan, one of the Wigan family. I think there are a couple of them out here. He is wheeling the Pontiac over on the opposite side. Wigan goes 932 at 145, 599 at 117 in the 8th mile for our friend Derek Drake. Now, this car has been in the 8s before, but it's got a thrown-together 496. He basically said that he was considering not running 6 Summer, although he was already registered. His sons basically wanted to go on the tour, so he said, yeah, I have to throw something together. He's going to line up with the wheelie master, Rich Bellman, over on the left-hand side. Bellman, the 69 Firebird. He's got it under control, it looks like, today. Bellman's going to get there first left side. Goes 9:11 at 150 with the Pontiac. 11:26 at 120 for Brian Havlic's 55 Chevy. Side of the racetrack. Smythe, who wheeled the 9-second Lexus last year. This is a 1968 model Chevelle that he just got put back together. Jesse Nelson looks like he's on a good run. 8:32, 155. That's way better than the 14-second pass he ended in yesterday. 11:81, 114 for Sean Smythe's entry. One of the Quaker cars in Pro Dial Your Own, a 1993 Cutlass. Yeah, it's not front-wheel drive. They converted the drive wheels to the correct location. Lester's been in the low 9s. Keith Benstead on the opposite side in the blow-through carburetor-equipped 1978 model Ford. He runs 870 at 160, 928 at 149 for Lester. It's about a quarter of a second off what he normally runs. I like it. It is pretty cool to see father and son out there doing the thing here on Drag and Drive. So Blaine Stark is currently in the number 2 spot in the highly competitive Rowdy Radio class. He ran 5:10 last time. He's not happy with it. He wants to make another shot. Tim Sharp, the 1988 Dodge pickup truck. The 60-foot is a little slower. Yeah, it didn't work good. 5:28 at 133 for Stark. He slows down by over a tenth and a half. His main man, Nick, watching behind him as he hopes that this will also be a one and done and the car will make a good shot. Both of them are staged. 153 60-foot for Bob Gruber. That's probably not going to help him. Nick is edging him on. 892 at 162. It's not a bad opening lick, but it's probably not as quick as they want it to be. Pontiac Trans Am, it's a 1999 model. He's currently in the 6th street race class. He has laid down a best of 927 for the week. Left-hand side is Doug Cook, the main man at Motion Raceworks, TBM Brakes and Rife Sensors, along with Fluid Works. I hopefully got them all in there. Doug Cook, 1972 model, Nova. He's currently leading the Super Street class with a 716 average. He's laid down a 740 number. He'd like to get close to that 7.0, possibly 6-second number. Not sure if he's turned it up or a lot or he just wants to try something here. Now he turned it down. He's going to put some power to it out back, though. 735 at 201, but with a 142 60-foot. Dane Ross in the 2021 Shelby GT 500. That'll bring up Corey Pant, the guy who was actually first in line on Saturday. I mean, that does deserve a mention. Jason Bertrand's Chevelle being driven by Ken Cuttle Jr. left-hand side. He is currently leading the naturally aspirated category. 967 and 137, that'll keep him there. As Alex making her first run, I believe, a little later in the day than we would have expected. So she's going to spool up the big twin turbo big block and knock it in. 125 60-foot. Alex is still in it down the center. 702 at 209. Just missing the sixes. Facing Cameron Alley in the Cobra. Right-hand side is Fonzie DeBello. He's running the Sick Week Freaks category. The Barra-powered Ford Fairmont. They call it the Barramont. He might get his 8-second run here. He goes 899 with a 3. He gets it. 861 at 159 for TJ Linebaugh. TJ is still about a tenth of a second slow. That's not going to help him. He really needs to pick up about a tenth of a second in order to be where he wants there. So we will probably see him back. Now, Fonzie just went 899. And I think that will keep Fonzie in the game as far as 6 week freaks will go. So a little bit of nitrous left-hand side for Aaron Garling, the 67 300 Deluxe Chevelle. He'll line up with one of our guys that laid down a perfect run yesterday. This is Jeremy Ortiz. Ortiz in the 97 Nissan. He finished number 2 in class last year. Right now he's chasing another possible top 3 finish. He sits in the number 3 spot. Left side is in. Jeremy gets there. Chevelle off the mark first, now Ortiz. It's going to be close for Ortiz. 857 at 155. An improvement on his first run, but still not fast enough. He's probably going to need to lay into it a little harder. Rear wheel drive. As this is John Lester, John and Holly Lester right-hand side. Wheeling the 1993 Olds Cutlass. This is an Oldsmobile-powered single-turbo Cutlass. Left side is Alan Whitaker in the 2-ton extra thick 72 Monte Carlo with a twin-turbo big block on board. Alan's already replaced a couple of pistons in this hot rod. He's trying to hang on to a 7-second average. He looks good here. 7:45 at 196 for Alan Whitaker. As Steve Morris and Whitaker put in some extra hard effort overnight to get that thing swapped again, and he brings it back to run another mid-7-second run. 9:13 at 150 on the right-hand side for Josh Lester. He's been in the 860 to 90 range. Right side is Brian Acton. Acton trying oh so hard to get an 8.50 time slip. It's close. It's going to be almost spot on. 8:51.7. Oh, Jay, I almost said it. All right, our next pair rolling, Mike McMahon and Joshua Lappins. McMahon left side goes 9 flat, 155. 9:42 at 147 for Joshua Lappins in the Trans Am. Brian Crane, as his OnlyFans people call him, Bray Crane. The guy who also is trying to get into the stick shift category. CJ Durbin once again loses his belt, 5:48 right side. And Crane slows to an 8:98 at just 1:26.